Kilo Charlie 9, Victor Kilo Victor. This is November 3, Mike Echo Golf. How's that, Jim, any better?
Yes, sir. You're like about 40 over on Milford, Roger.
40 over on Milford, Roger. Okay, yeah, that's a nice signal.
Roger. If you'd be interested in a setup procedure, it starts with engaging your compressor at a 3. It's a token amount. It'll never be heard on the air, but it gets us where we need to go at the end of our setup, Roger.
At the end of our setup, Roger. Okay, I'll try here. I've never messed with the compressor before. I don't even know where the dial is, to be honest with you.
Roger, I don't know what to say. I'm not really familiar with your radio, but if you can do it, we do it. If not, we'll move on and try the next segment of the setup, Roger.
The segment of the setup, Roger. Yeah, I'm not sure, Jim, where the compression is. I've only had this radio, oh boy, I don't know, 3 or 6 months, and I set the EQ last night on Bob Howe's website the best I could with the radio, so maybe we can skip that, huh?
Well, it's all, part of the setup. Do you know where your ALC is? Yeah, I'm on the ALC right now. Okay, so as you, with mic gain in hand, as you speak fairly rapidly, 100, 200, 300, adjust your mic gain control until your ALC is running mid-scale to 2/3. Mid-scale to 2/3 on your ALC by way of mic gain manipulation.
Okay, we'll do that. Okay, audio 1, 2, 1, 2. That's probably, that's pretty close to 2/3, I'd say, close there.
Roger. Okay, and then 2 EQ, and if you know where that page is.
Did you say EQ?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I'm on EQ1 now.
Alrighty, and what is that, an 8-band, a 3-band, 2-band, or what kind of EQ is that?
2-band, or what kind of EQ is that? It's got three EQ settings, 1, 2, and 3.
All right, mid-range EQ should always be flat. Your mid-range EQ should always be flat, Roger?
Okay, say that again.
Your mid-range EQ, your mid-EQ, should always be flat. The whole idea of an equalizer is to balance the top to the mid and the bottom to the mid. And if you boost the mid, it's so much harder for the top and the bottom to strike a balance. So you always keep your mid-range EQ flat. So much so that even the 7300s or 7610s don't even put that EQ in. They don't even put a mid-range EQ in because they want that to be flat. Roger?
Okay, well, I don't know how to get what you want me to get. I got EQ1 frequency, and then it's on 200.
Roger. Well, you have 3 EQs, Roger. You have a bass, a mid-range, and a treble. Roger?
Okay, so 1 is bass, mid is 2, and treble 3?
Yes, sir. The lower one is the low frequency bass, usually around 200 cycles. Mid-range is, what it is, around 1 kc or so. We want that one flat. And then the treble EQ is usually 3 kc, 2.5, somewhere near.
Okay, so EQ frequency right now is 200. Is that where you want me?
Well, that's the bottom one. So we just leave that one where it is at the moment, and we want to make sure that the one between, the number 2, the one in the middle, is flat, plus or minus nothing. Roger, it's flat.
Nothing, Roger, it's flat. Okay, let me run this by you here real quick. I got EQ frequency 1, EQ1 level, and EQ bandwidth. Okay, so EQ1 frequency is 200, and then I go to EQ frequency. EQ2 frequency is 900.
Yes, sir. Okay, number 2, do you see an adjustment for where you can increase it or decrease it? You can plus or minus that number 2 frequency, that 900 cycle frequency. You see where you can adjust that level-wise, Roger?
Adjust that level-wise, Roger?
Okay, so you want EQ level. Okay, I'm minus 6 right now.
All right, you want that mid-range flat, where you're not cutting or boosting, just a flat position on the mid-range, Roger?
Position on the mid-range, Roger.
Okay, so I'm guessing you'd want me at 0 then.
Yes, sir. So you have a plus on one side and a negative reading if you were to turn it on the other side, Roger?
If you were to turn it on the other side, Roger?
Yeah, I don't have a plus, but I do have a minus. It's -1, then 0, and then 1. So I'm at 0.
Alrighty. Now let's go to your treble, your top EQ, and what frequency is that one?
And what frequency is that one?
Okay, I'm at 6 on that, sir.
What frequency is that, sir?
What frequency is that, sir?
Oh, I'm sorry, 2400.
Yes, sir. All right. Why don't you bring that 2 more clicks, if you can, to an 8. Plus 8, 2 clicks boost from where you are on that control.
Clicks boost from where you are on that control.
Okay, EQ3 level is now from a 6 to an 8.
Alrighty, and why don't you give me about 10 seconds, let me look around, see if I can get you on my local antenna. Tell me in 10 seconds or so about your antenna system, Roger.
About your antenna system, Roger.
Okay, yeah. ZX6BKW, it's a G5RV, it's in a inverted V position. It's oriented so I can talk east and west.
Roger, Roger. Okay, now let's go back to your base EQ. And what is the reading on that as far as the boost or cut? I forgot now. What is that?
Okay, EQ1 level is -6.
All right. Well, bring that up to a -2 on the base. That's EQ control number 1, be a -2 as opposed to a -6 or -8 or whatever you said.
Okay, yeah, now it's -2. It was -6. Now EQ1 level is -2.
Alrighty, that sounds pretty good. Now, you know, we could get some more bass in there, but the problem is that Mother Nature sometimes plays tricks on transmissions and doesn't bend all of the transmission back to Earth at the same place. Sometimes she bends it from multiple places. And what happens is when they all cume back on the ground, they're no longer necessarily in phase with each other. So what happens is the first thing to be canceled out as far as phase angle errors is high frequencies. So if you have this great EQ curve with a lot of bass and a lot of top end and you're solid forth, and then all of a sudden Mother Nature just cancels your top end. If you have all this great bottom end with no top end, it sounds like Mr. Mud. So for that reason, I don't really push the bottom end a bunch. I mainly concentrate on getting a very nice, intelligible top end. Roger?
Yeah. I'm really curious to see what this sounds like now. So is that all?
Yes, sir. Pretty close. Just double check now to be sure that your mid EQ is in the flat position. It's neither cut nor boost on your mid EQ. Roger?
Yeah, EQ2 level is 0.
Okay, but you should have a boost and a cut on that frequency, just like the other ones. Roger?
You mean plus and minus?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. In other words, the mid frequency is the same as the top and the bottom as far as the way it works. You know, you can plus or minus it. We want it just in the 0 position, neither cut nor boost. Roger?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That's where I'm at. definitely where I'm at.
All right. Now, let's see, Mike, be sure and stay on mic. That's one of the most important things you can do. Stay on access to your microphone. And another good thing that you might do for, the next little while is pull out your ALC meter so you can see it as you're talking. And you know where that sweet spot is from the mid-scale to 2/3 position on the ALC meter. So as you're speaking, you're looking at the meter, and by your voice command, by plus or minus your projection or proximity to microphone, you want to keep that ALC meter in the sweet spot, midway between mid-scale and 2/3 on the ALC meter. Roger?
Yes, sir. I screwed up. I didn't hold the menu button. I lost all those settings. So just run those by me real quick.
I'm sorry. Which settings did you not get?
I lost the settings that we put in here because I didn't hold the menu button for it to store it. It went back to how I had it.
All right. All right. So we want to start from the ALC, or you want to start from the EQ? Yeah, let's do the EQ. Probably the easiest. Mid-range is flat, plus or minus nothing, 0, flat EQ on the mid-range EQ. Roger?
Okay, yeah, mid. Oh, wait, hold on a minute. That's not mid. Wait. Okay, yeah, mid is flat. I'm sorry.
All right, then plus 8 on the treble boost treble to plus 8.
Okay, we got 8 on the treble.
All right, and I forget what the bottom one was. I think it was. I think we came up to almost 0 level. Put it on 0. Neither cut nor boost on your bass, and let me hear you.
Okay, that's 0. I think we had it at -2. That's -2.
All right, yeah, that sounds good. Leave her there. Okay, so can you commit that to memory now?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It's in memory now. I'm sorry.
That's all right. And also, just if you can, if you have a pad and pencil, just jot down that EQ in case you lose your memory. It's plus 8 treble EQ, flat mid-range, and -2 on the bass. Roger?
Okay. Plus 8 is what?
Is your treble. Is your treble EQ. Plus 8 is treble. Roger?
Okay, and that's EQ3, I think, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, treble's plus 8, mid is 0, right?
Yes, plus or minus nothing is 0. Roger?
Okay, yeah, I got it all written down there. But yeah, thank you very much.
Yes, sir. And just to review, when you set your ALC, and you probably should go back and double check that because we've made some extensive EQ changes. And anytime you make a change in your audio system, the last thing you should do is always go back to your ALC and just to verify that you're running mid-range to 2/3 on your ALC by going to the ALC, bringing the ALC meter out with your mic gain in the other hand, and as you speak rapidly, 100, 200, 300, adjust the mic gain until your ALC is running mid-scale to 2/3. Roger?
Okay, 100, 200, 300. That's pretty close to mid-scale 2/3 right there. Audio 1, 2. Yeah, that looks good.
Roger, Roger. And you speak fairly rapidly to be able to bring that meter up and be able to see it accurately reflect what's going on. If you were to try to set level by going 1, 2, 3, 4, like that, the meter would never have a chance to come up and accurately reflect what it was reading. Roger?
Okay, so speaking rapidly is better then?
That's the way to set your ALC. Speak, bring the ALC meter up with your mic gain in one hand, and as you speak rapidly, 100, 200, 300, and then adjust that ALC from mid-scale to 2/3. And so what I'm saying now is, if you would, leave your ALC meter displayed for the next maybe week or so, and as you engage in QSOs and whatever, just kind of with your eyes, keep an eye on your ALC, and try to keep that meter in the sweet spot, mid-scale to 2/3, by way of voice manipulation. Roger?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We'll do that. And and I'm very anxious to hear what this sounds like.
Roger, Roger. The other thing is when you find out where your compressor is, you might turn on the compressor and adjust it for a 3 level. When you find out where your compressor is, that's part of our setup to have the compressor on and adjust it at a 3 out of 10 or a 30 out of 100, just a third of the capabilities of the compressor. And then once you put that compressor back in line, run back to your ALC and double check that ALC level, because that's another time you will have modified your audio chain. So anytime you do that, go back to your ALC to be sure it's mid-scale to 2/3. Roger.
Okay, so where do you want the compression at?
At a 3. 1, 2, 3. At a 3 on the compressor engaged. If your compression input is 0 to 10, it's a 3. If it's 0 to 100, it would be 30. It's just a third of the capabilities of the compressor.
Okay, so if it's 0 to 30, what you wanted a third, so that would be a 10, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Whatever it is, we just want a third of that. Roger?
Okay, very good. Yes, very good. I don't have no compression now because I got to switch the compression or something.
Roger, Roger, Mike. Well, there you go, sir. I think we've got it. Just stay on mic, 2 to 3 inches wherever you were there, and be observant of your ALC meter over the next couple of weeks, and you'll find that over a period of time, you'll be able to put that meter right in the sweet spot just by talking. Roger?
Yes, sir, and thanks again for your help. I'm anxious to see what this sounds like. I've watched your YouTube before, and I just stumbled across you, and I told my girlfriend here, I said, I watched this guy on YouTube before, and I recognized you. It didn't take me long, Jim, so thank you very much.
Yes, sir, and we'll have this posted up on YouTube by noon tomorrow. So if you go to YouTube and do a call letter search for KC9VKV, followed by the word logbook, Kilo Charlie 9, Victor Kilo Victor, followed by the word logbook. Roger?
Okay, yes, sir, I'll do that. And like I said, thank you very much. You have a wonderful day. Thank you, sir.
Roger, Roger, Mike 73, sir. You have a great afternoon, beautiful weekend. And if you get a chance, drop by next Friday after you crank in that EQ, after you crank in your compression, and give me a shout then, and we'll see. It should be just perfect. 73, sir. This is the Friday afternoon Qso-Vlog net. If you have a radio you want to check out, give me a shout.